Imagine a magical coin, one that can change the way you think about money and transform your financial future. Now, I am not a magician, but I am a financial advisor, and I believe that we all could use just a little bit of magic when it comes to our finances. Because despite the plethora of resources that we have available to us, the books, the news media, the podcasts, TikTok, we remain financially unwell as a nation. In fact, the leading cause of stress in the United States is stress over money. But I've seen firsthand how the magic of this coin has transformed the lives of my clients, Victor and Olivia. And they've inspired others to rethink money and prioritize financial wellness. So meet Olivia. Olivia is a hoarder. I mean, you know the type. Chaos, disorganization, stuff everywhere, barely a place to sit in her home. In fact, her garage, 2 words, Costco warehouse. And actually, it's in this garage that she first came in contact with the coin. She saw something shiny on the ground and, never being one to throw anything away, picked it up, put it in her pocket. That night, the magic of the coin emerged, and it filled her dreams with vivid memories of her childhood, one marked with scarcity, frugality, parents who avoided excess and extravagance at all and saved at all costs. She woke up the next morning a bit disoriented, but when she came to, she took in her surroundings. And for the first time in her life, she realized what a profound impact her upbringing had on the way that she was living. You see, her family's motto, stockpile, safeguard, thrive. She was stockpiling and safeguarding, but she wasn't thriving. In fact, she felt suffocated. And this encounter with the coin, it helped her to realize that all of this sacrificing and savings, it had to lead to something more, some sort of life. This hoarding, which she thought would provide her safety and security, it was actually limiting her ability to live her life. So this coin for Olivia became a catalyst for change in her life. She reprioritized, she threw away her hoarding tendencies and found a balance in her life between saving and spending on the things that matter. She embarked on a journey of personal fulfillment and financial wellness. And what a journey it's been. We've watched her travel to over 20 different countries and counting. She's finally thriving. Now this coin, it is remarkable. And the cool thing is, it can show up anywhere, anytime for any one of us. All you have to do is be looking for it. And that's exactly what happened with Victor. So Victor, he's what we call a status seeker. Victor had been going through a really, really rough time in his life. His wife had just left him. His daughters were essentially growing up in a boarding school, never coming home to visit. So Victor, the status seeker, was raised in a household where financial success and financial status were the only goals that mattered. He learned at a very young age that his personal worth was intricately connected to his material wealth. So what did he do? He spent a lifetime growing his assets, accumulating wealth, but it left little time for anyone or anything else. So one day, Victor's at the local coffee shop, grabbing his daily latte, sees something shiny, picks up the coin, scoots out the door, jumps into his signature red Porsche, drives home to his magnificent mansion, steps across the threshold, and suddenly feels a wave of emptiness come over him. He steps in the house and slinks in his sofa, looking around and saying, how do I feel empty? This house is anything but. It's meticulously curated, artwork, sculptures, marble, walls, and ceilings, just fabulous. And he thinks to himself, people envy me for this. I've been doing this my whole life. Why am I so empty? Well, Victor's experience is particularly poignant because as he sat there with the coin, He understood that wealth, it was about connections, experience, purpose, not just possessions. So he decided then and there to make a change. Stop accumulating stuff for status, but instead use his resources for purpose and connections. And he had to start with his daughters before he lost them forever. And our work with Victor has been transformational. We've created, instead of focusing on going after stock market performance and the latest, hottest cocktail party stock, he's created a legacy for his family. We've created a family endowment fund where he and his daughters get together once a year and talk about their values and experiences and things that are important to them so they can work together on them and fund them together. You see, Victor realized money, it's just money until you give it a purpose. So Victor and Olivia could not be any different, right? We've got the hoarder and the status seeker. Some of you may identify with Victor and Olivia, but what did they have in common before they came in contact with the coin? They were both financially unwell. You see, this coin, it gave them clarity. It gave them clarity and vision and a pathway towards financial wellness. But financial wellness often takes a back seat to other aspects of our busy lives. But I believe we need to prioritize it. We need to invest in it. We need to educate on it, just like we do our emotional wellness, our spiritual wellness, our physical wellness. But we don't. In fact, the global wellness community is over $5.6 trillion. That's trillion with a T, larger than Germany's GDP. How many of those dollars do you think are focused on financial wellness? 0. So guess what? No one's coming to our rescue. We have got to rescue ourselves. So who could use a little magic? Well, again, like I said, I'm not a magician. But today is your lucky day because the magic, it's not in the coin. The coin simply represents a shift in our mindset, a shift in the way that we think and approach money. And so Olivia and Victor did just this. They did the work. They put in the time. They focused on changing their mindset and prioritizing financial wellness. And we can all do the exact same thing. And it starts with prioritizing the 3 basic tenets of financial wellness: saving, investing, and spending. So savings. When I say savings, what comes to mind? For many people, it's like Olivia, it's security and safety. For other people, it's restriction, it's burden, it's put together a budget. And I remember feeling that way. When I got my first job, my director told me, make sure you save 20% of what you earn. You will thank me later. And I walked away from him thinking, what in the world am I going to eat? Because I couldn't afford to save 20% of what I was earning. But over time, I got there. And I did thank him later, because that savings, it allowed me to leave that job and start my own company. It allowed me to be selective about my son's education. So when you think of savings, I want you to think of freedom. Freedom of opportunity, freedom of choice, freedom of experience. Now, investing. Most people, it's about beating the S&P 500, right? It's about chasing the stock market performance. And yes, investing in the stock market, investing in general, is necessary to build wealth. But what is wealth, if not the ability to fully experience life? Otherwise, it's just numbers on a screen. So give your investing a purpose, whether that purpose is to live out a dream retirement or be the first in your family to build a pathway towards generational wellness. Travel, be philanthropic, whatever it is, make sure it has a purpose. Spending. Spending is a challenge for most. Because we do it so mindlessly. It's so easy. You click a few buttons and magically, there's a package at your door the next day. You may not even remember ordering it. But it's there, and you've spent money. It became a habit. So let me introduce you to the latte effect. Let's say every day you go to the office 5 days a week, for those that still go into the office. You spend $5 a day on a latte. Over a year's time, you've spent $1,300 on lattes. Over a 10-year period, you've consumed 2,600 lattes, and you probably have severe heartburn. But what if instead you treated yourself 1 day a week to a latte, $5 latte, and you saved the rest? In 10 years, you'd have well over $10,000. If you invested, well over $20,000. So small sacrifices lead to big gains. So let's stop mindlessly consuming and think of ourselves as producers and have our spending align with the life we want to produce. And as you see, we've humanized money. We've taken this thing, we've given it emotion. We've embedded it into our values and our belief system. Sometimes we've equated our self-worth with our net worth. So let's get rid of that. Let's prioritize our financial wellness. Let's rethink saving, spending, and investing. And remember, the power, the magic to do that, it lives inside each one of us. Thank you.